Okay. DGP 75. Back-to-back 5-goal wins for the Arsenal. 7 a.m. Monday morning. Steven, good morning.
Howdy. It's 7 a.m. after a holiday weekend, man. Happy Thanksgiving to any Americans out there. Hope you had a good one. Also, you had a birthday on the pod. Happy birthday to my co-host, KP.
Dude, 2 days later, we had another birthday on the pod. My co-host. Happy birthday, dude. How fun. I mean, birthdays 2 days apart, Thanksgiving, seeing the family, the holidays been banging, dude. Got to get back to work today. Gonna get this record sesh, talk some Arsenal. I mean, the vibes are up, dude. But how's everything been with you?
Been good. It's been relaxing. Definitely a good holiday. Food was bussin', as they say. I've been eating leftovers. I think last night was the last night. Can't do it anymore. It's too much. I can't do it anymore. You know, those sweet potatoes are doing something to me. So last night leftovers.
I saw a salmonella. What is that like disease called? Not like disease. It's like
salmonella.
Leftover. Yeah. I saw a warning about that. I was like, 4 days. That's it.
Nah, it was good stuff. It was very good stuff. Cranberry sauce was off the chain this year. The sweet potatoes. I mean, that's my go-to. That is my thing. No turkey, which I'm okay with. I think turkey's a little overrated, personally. Don't need it. I just don't need it.
Yeah, dude. These guys, obviously I'm at the in-laws and they celebrate Friendsgiving, and my partner's family's pretty big, you know? So there's like 70 people here for Friendsgiving. I was just like, man, I'm a little overwhelmed. Had some lasagna for that. I agree with you. The sweet potato casserole and actual Thanksgiving, it just hits different, chat.
That is Thanksgiving. But yeah, big win on Saturday. You want to review November? I think we haven't recorded since Sporting 5-1. Now we have West Ham 5-2. Two big games. What's your take? I think I had 2-1 prediction for West Ham, and you had did you have a 4? A 3-0? 4-0?
Dude, I had a 4-0, which it was that after 35 minutes. That was incredible.
I got that text at the 35th minute. Yeah, it's happening. It's happening, chat.
Put the champagne on ice. Put the champagne on ice, dude. Choo-choo. The train is starting to leave the station, young man. I hope you believe, because we are back, dude. Yeah, November done with, dude. 6 games played in total. 1 international break. Let me get that on the pod. We got 2 losses to start the month. Newcastle and Inter. Then we had that draw. And now we have 3 wins on the bounce. It's all coming together slowly, right? At least that's the vibes. And the Sporting game, it was great. I think this pod's going to be a little bouncy, right? Because we're going to try to chat mostly players and performances, things that have been happening, but also we'll talk about the games a little bit. I think we've been introduced to the Batman. That's been really fun.
Big Gab. Yeah, I think it's more about general vibes, right? 2 huge wins in a row. We're looking forward to that game this midweek versus United. That'll be a big one. Fulham at the weekend. I agree. It feels like the train has started, right? We got the choo-choo. Coals are getting hot. Some steam coming out. We're making some noise. Beginning of November, that's when we kind of hit a slow streak. Had the international break, came back hot. I gotta say, what is the difference? What do you think the difference is from going from cold to hot so quickly?
Dude, I mean, I think there's 2 aspects of it, right? I think the early goals are back. That's for sure. And we had hit on that being one of the big keys for us, something we didn't see in the first 3 months of the season. So I think that's made a huge difference. But on top of that, I think back to, you know, when we were struggling to score and you asked me where the goal is going to come from. And I said, I'm not sure if the return of Martin Odegaard alone fixes everything. But dude, I mean, maybe when you're that good, it's that simple, Steven. Maybe it's that simple.
Maybe it is. I heard a really interesting take from a commentator. I know it's surprising because, we don't really run on those trains. But the take was, I think he's almost like sat back from the game from his injury. He's so good. He's taken even more notes. I need to do this. I need to do X, Y, and Z to make us cross the line. I need to do X, Y, and Z to make us even better. And he is coming out flying. I mean, the first game he came back from injury, it was like nothing. He didn't skip a beat, right? He didn't need 90 minutes to get into his legs to make things happen. It was like instantaneous. So I thought that was an interesting thing. He's seen us playing. We're struggling. Immediately was like, I need to do this to make us go. And we are going. We are flying.
We are, dude. And I think in a weird way, I heard it take someone saying that maybe in a way the return of Martin Odegaard actually gives Ethan Nwaneri more of a chance to play. And we've also kind of seen that, right? Like maybe the plan was always for him to play those 10 minutes. Maybe he's not ready to start games. But since Martin's been back, we've done a great job managing his workload. We've done a great job of giving others a chance to hit on the early goals. I think, dude, he's just so important to us. He is literally so important to us. I think back to the goal that we scored at the weekend against West Ham. Maybe it was the second goal where he clipped it through to Saka and Saka squared it to Trossard. Like, maybe one of the hardest things to measure in football is the pass before the pass. And he's got that, dude. I don't know how you measure that, but he's got that, Chief.
He does have it. That right-hand side has been insane. Him, Saka, and I'm going to throw Timber in there. Almost like a revelation. Dude's been money. My one to watch. He has been absolutely money. I got to give him a shout out. It is crazy how seamless he is jumping into that three, creating chemistry. He's great on the ball. It seems like they really trust him. There's a trust there. He's working in with those little dink passes. He's reading it, getting on the end of some, trying to play him in. But I think when Odegaard's there, for him, he's like, if I make the run, I might just get the ball. Like, this isn't just a run to create space. Of course, they do that all the time. You make a run just to create. But there is that chance that Odegaard, like, he's going to find me here. So that's the exciting part, I think. Keep you engaged.
Dude, absolutely. I saw Timber made the team of the week for the Champions League. I thought his performance against Sporting was incredible, dude. The way he dribbles out of space and just carries it forward, dude. I mean, Benny Blanco's my dog, dude, but I don't think he can dribble like that, bro. That little shoulder shimmy is levels, big man.
Yeah, it is levels. His level has raised just from the beginning of the season. We had expectations for him, I think, which is why I chose him as the one to watch. I expected something from him this season. We knew he was solid defensively, but man, he's just, we said it, I think last pod he said, hey, right-hand side, he's better on the right. I think it's becoming very evident, very comfortable on the right, and he is adding something offensively, which I love.
Yeah, actually, I posted on Blue Sky after the Sporting game, which if you're not following us, check us out on Blue Sky, get engaged at 2 DC Gooners. But I posted that I'm fairly convinced if Timber was fit all of last season, we win the league. I am convinced of that, dude.
Oof. You know, when it comes down to 3 points, I think that's facts. Like, you could easily say that's facts. It came down to 3 points, and what he provides us, wow. Yeah, I agree with that. We had that slump for a while with Kiwior too. Zinchenko had some bad runs, and then Kiwior came in. He had a good run, but if you could have had a Timber at left back and Benny Blanco at right, yeah, that's 3 points.
Yeah, dude, I'm pretty convinced of that. All right, I think one of the big things I want to talk about is I think Martinelli Hive is in the mud, dude, when it comes to the Premier League. I think let's just start out with the left wing. Let's chat about it, because I just wanted to call out the fact that we have scored 8 goals in our last 2 Premier League games against Nottingham Forest and West Ham. Who was the one player who didn't play a single minute in those 2 games?
Sticks.
Something about that, chat. There's got to be something about that.
Sticks. Martinelli, where you at? I'm gonna say this. I've said this before. I just want to raise it again. I believe this is true. A true statement. Leo Trossard is the best piece of our puzzle. Like, to me, he is still the best piece of the puzzle, and these last 2 games prove that. The team is just, the way it looks, the chemistry, the way he's able to weave between left wing, central, midfield. He makes different runs. It's not stagnant, which is my issue personally with Martinelli. He's very stagnant. He's very predictable. Trossard is not that at all. He went against Wan-Bissaka, the defensive right back, the defensive guy who's the one-on-one defender. Not to say that he pulled him apart or anything, but he did get his goal. He made his moment, made it happen. I think he is the best piece of the puzzle, personally.
Yeah, I mean, I was a little worried about him against Wan-Bissaka. I totally hear you, dude, but to make the sort of back post run behind him, to beat him to that ball, to score, that's great. And, I mean, on top of it all, Steven, like, he can pass, dude. He can pass the ball. And Martinelli just doesn't hit the passes that he does. It's that simple. Against West Ham, that ball he played over the top to King Kai for the 4th goal, dude, Martinelli does not make that pass. 100% of the time, if he gets that ball, he is dribbling with that ball, dude, in that moment.
He has it in his locker. Obviously, he's not Odegaard, and he's not going to be able to do that consistently over and over and over, but it's in his locker, and he can whip it out. I've always said he's good for like 1 to 2, even 3 moments a game where he can like do something to produce a moment. That game's a perfect example. Got on the far stick, puts a ball in. That pass, I mean, it's just these little moments. Maybe he's not noticeable for all 70 minutes he's on the field. You don't notice him all the time, but that's the game, right? That is the game. It's about these little moments, the margins.
Yeah, and I think it's interesting in the beginning of the season, obviously he was a little upset that he wasn't getting the starts. He made that known. And I think now the manager is rewarding him. I think the manager has seen enough to say, okay, I have to start you in the Premier League. And I think that's a testament to the manager as well, because honestly, after Martin Odegaard came back, I didn't think that Trossard was going to start many games. But I've been proven wrong, and I'm totally fine with that.
Yeah, and let's talk about Martinelli real quick. So Sporting, he had the first goal.
Goal.
I don't think Martinelli is completely down and out. He's obviously still going to be a key contributor. What is interesting is he got 0 minutes in the last 2 Prem games. That isn't the interesting part to me. I feel like that is, as far as Mikel Arteta goes, that is a clear statement. They typically give each other that 50, I want to say 50-50, but usually one plays the 70 minutes, the other plays 20. That's very consistent. Whoever starts will end up coming off for the other. No, he's not. He's not getting that sub. I find that interesting.
Yeah, it's going to be fascinating to see what the starting line looks like against Manchester United. My expectation would be that Martinelli starts, to be honest with you. And I'm okay with that, right? Like, I don't think he's a bad player. I just feel like that we are a little bit more productive with Trossard. That's all. And I still believe, like, if that West Ham game is 2-2 at halftime and Martinelli comes on in the second half to make a difference, like, I fully believe that he can, right? I'm not doubting any of that. And he's going to be an important player. The one thing that's interesting is they've been doing these like social content with the players when they ask them a question as they're walking in, and they were asking folks, what's an ability of a teammate that you would want? And I feel like half the team said Martinelli's pace. But that's also a little alarming that's the one thing about Martinelli that everyone wants is just the pace, bro. I just want that pace. What we need more than pace on the wing, dude.
We've all known those players. They're just really fast. And like, that's what makes them good. That's what makes them great. Yeah, I still have promise for Martinelli too. I still think he can make an impact. I completely agree. If that's games 2-2, impact sub, oof. Martinelli coming off the bench, that's a great impact sub to have. but also the ability to not even have him coming on, keep him hungry, keep him wanting more. I think Trossard proved that, like you're saying, beginning of the season, being angry, not being happy that he's not playing, hungry, and he's showing it. That's what it's all about. Let's go to the other wing, the hungriest boy I know, Bukayo Saka. Bukayo
the GOAT, dude. Put some respect on my winger's name, bro. What happened to the world-class arguments? What happened to the Phil Foden? Or where the fuck was Phil Foden this weekend, bro? When his team needed him the most.
Yo, Bukayo Saka has gone up a level. I'm like entering the category of like he is that we hear in America, like he is him. You got your one player. I would like to relate things to basketball, but like there's one player on your team that like he's the guy. He's just the guy, right? You're one superstar. You got Kevin Durant, Devin Booker. I'm a Phoenix Suns fan. You got two players on our team that are just incredible. Started for the Olympics, but like Kevin Durant is the guy, right? He's the dude. We have amazing players in our team, but like Bukayo's becoming the guy. That left foot strike he had. Who was that against? Who was it? Nottingham Forest? That goal. It's like I'm gonna do this myself. Like you're wide open. We had plenty of chances, but like nah, I'll just do it for us. Don't worry about it, boys. Like I got this. Some of his celebrations now, he's like talking to the crowd. Quiet down. Quiet the fuck down. All right. I'm the dude. I'm your starting winger for your national team. All right. Like he's really entering his I am him era. Oof. And he's a bad boy. He's a bad boy.
He's bad, dude. He posted in 2020, "You deserve more, Arsenal fans." Real ones remember, dude.
Yes. Sir.
And he has delivered since then, and he continues to grow, dude. I saw a stat that said he's had 29 goal involvements in his last 29 Premier League matches. That's insane, bro. 16 goals and 13 assists this season. After 13 games, he has 10 assists, dude. And I hear things about like, oh, it's corner stat padding, dude. Like, bro, if it's that easy, why can't your guy do it? I don't understand. Your guy takes corners, right? Like, he's got 10 assists, which makes him tied with Mesut Ozil at some point during his like huge assist run. And Ozil was taking corners. Like, what are we talking about, bro?
Put him on that level. Like we talk about James Ward-Prowse being like this free kick specialist. Sure, he's not scoring from direct free kicks, but like even when he's taking corners, like that dude puts in a ball. Saka is consistent as hell. I mean, Big Gabby whispering to him, "Put it on my head. I'm gonna be right there. Put it on my head." Where's the ball? On his head in the back of the net. Consistent. I feel like you can watch this real time and like take things for granted. The conversation to me has gone from Phil Foden, Cole Palmer, Saka to Mo Salah, Saka. That's where the conversation has gone. That's what I'm saying. The dude's elevated the level. We're talking world class now. Best in the Prem. Not just like, oh, the English boys. Like, no, the best players in the world.
Dude, that's so fair, bro, because I honestly think the only player better than him is Salah. And that's out of respect, right? I can't, it's a footballing pod, dude. I'm not going to disrespect the Egyptian king like that. Like, he can ball. And our guy is just as good. And the consistency, absolutely, dude. I mean, Declan Rice takes corners, and Declan Rice is pretty good at delivery. But even him, every now and then, he like can't get it past the near post. Every now and then, he overhits it. Not Saka. Every ball is dangerous, dude. And you have to respect the craft, dude. On top of that, he's penalties. He's really improved in those. I mean, I think even just as last year, I still have some PTSD when he steps up to take it, but not anymore. Not after the penalty he scored against Porto. Not after the one he just tucked away against West Ham and laughed at their crowd. That's what I want, dude. And just when you think, how can I like love this kid more? Against West Ham, they're giving Timber a hard time. And he put a little shoulder in the kid's back and said, "Yo, I'm here, bro. What are you doing? That's my teammate."
Oof. I love those are moments that I like look at. That is a crazy talk about like some team building stuff. go back in the locker room. Like, you got my back. Like, you're my boy. Like, I hope Timber feels that. Obviously, still newish in the squad. Now starting games. First player, and he was there quick. The player he's going up against, the left back he's going up against, he was there.
He ran up to him, bro. He saw it and he ran up to him.
Yeah, big, strong, like Saka's strong dude. Came up to him, gave him a little nudge. I know there was a moment earlier in the game when Paqueta went in, and Paqueta came in to foul him. Basically, he was right on the sideline, and like Saka like stood to it. He took the hit and kind of like shrugged him off. I think the ball went out for a throw in, but I was like, damn, like that was physical. That was some contact, and Saka like saw it coming. He knows he's gonna try to take him out, and he like shrugged him off. I was like, that's crazy. Like this dude, he is feeling himself, bro. He is.
Absolutely, dude. I mean, I love him. I hope it all continues. I'll say it on the pod right now, bro. At this rate, I think 20 assists is in the cards.
Ooh.
TT, watch out, bro. The kid is coming for the crown.
Heard it here first.
All right, that's enough of Bukayo. I think let's talk about my king, King Kai. Back-to-back goals, dude. Dare I say they were both center forward goals against Sporting. He's just crashing to the back post. Saka slips it through. What a pass by TP5, by the way, to set that up. And then against West Ham, he's through on goal, 1-on-1. You know, maybe the King Kai November of last season doesn't score that. But he just looked up, gave the keeper the eyes, tucked it in right next to him. I love what he's doing, man. I love what he's doing. And I also appreciate it that we went to Sporting. All I hear about is Gyökeres, and my center forward scored. Where was your center forward?
Oof, that one against West Ham, that's a big one. To me, that's where the doubters come. That moment, 1-on-1 with the keeper, Kai Havertz. Where do you put your money at? And I think a lot of people would put the money on he's not gonna make this. That was a pass into the net. The eyes looked up. There's that perfect camera angle. He looks up. You can see him looking at the keeper. Gotcha. Gotcha. Put it right past him. That was slick.
It was, dude. It's been great to see him back. He's now has 5 goals in the Premier League, 5 goals in 13 games, 25 to go. Maybe 20 goals is starting to feel like a stretch, but you never know. You never know. I think if I would reduce 20, I would say 15 is still in the cards. But I think back to when we were counting to 100 goals, dude. And one of the big things we said was the set pieces and the defense helping us reach 100 goals. And this guy, big fucking Gabby, he is my center back, dude.
Ooh. That celebration. So you got Batman. That's nasty. But this West Ham game where he just walks over, they have that little conversation. He's like, I don't know what he's saying. Just like put it on my head. I don't know what he's saying. Goes to the back post, slick little run, bang, like bang. Everybody knows it. It's crazy. One of those things. Everybody knows what's gonna happen, and it happens right in front of your face. Goal. That's crazy, right? That's nuts.
No one can stop him, dude. I mean, the only way they could stop him at the weekend was to punch him in the head. Other than that, like, you can't stop him, dude. Ask Kyle Walker. Ask him how he's doing trying to defend Big Gabby. Ask Mikel Antonio. Dude, for the first goal, Mikel Antonio, he was just left behind, dude. And I think, you know, there's some credit to the other players who helped set up Big Gabby for those runs, for him to have that freedom. But still, his execution, I saw a clip of his family watching the Sporting game, watching him go up for a corner. They watch as if he's taking a penalty, dude.
Yeah, I saw that. That was crazy. It's pretty cool to have somebody like that. It's no longer just like lumping the ball in. Hopefully one of your big dudes gets on the end of it. These are like designed for him specifically, right? He is that guy. I think everybody knows it. Like I'm saying, everybody knows where the ball's going. I find it interesting sometimes you watch the players. It's like they're playing him. They're not playing the ball. They're not looking at Saka taking it. Where's the ball going? They're like looking directly at Big Gabby. Got to get to him. Like, guys, maybe that's the coaching thing that's going to be able to stop it. It's like, no, just play the ball, guys. Just run to the ball and head it out.
Maybe, dude. I mean, I think the last pod you brought up a really good point about some of the stick that Mikel Merino has been getting, and you were saying like, was Xhaka a star in our team? And you were making that comparison. Big Gabby has 17 goals in the Premier League for Arsenal now. That equals the number of goals Granit Xhaka scored for us, dude.
Oof. And that's hit a much longer tenure. Oof.
So relax, right? Relax, dude.
Oh, let's give it to him on the back end too. Yes, Gabby scoring goals, but the performance out the back line, bro. Like we talk about Saliba a lot, probably the last 2 years. I feel like there's a drastic difference between the two now. Has Saliba gone up a level? I wouldn't necessarily say so, but his level is high as hell already to begin with. Gabby's level has gone up. Would you say that?
Yeah, I think he's really improved on the ball. Some of his long passing has improved. His defensive effort was always there, but he used to dive in a lot, and he's not diving in as much. There were a couple of moments where he does still get a little too intense in games. I think the emotions do get the better of him a little bit. Against Sporting, he fouled Gyökeres like on top of the box. You know, there were a couple times where he did dive in, but I mean, the one-on-one defending that he puts in, and I think what I love about him is like how in tuned he is to what people are saying, to show up to that game with that idea and to just be like, nah, one-on-one's like that. He really takes it on as a challenge that I'm going to stop this guy from scoring, dude. And you can't really measure that, bro.
That's mentality. He's the mentality monster. I want to say he's probably, Odegaard's the captain, but talk about a player that anchors your team. To me, Big Gabby's kind of that. He is an emotional character. I think you can look to him. When the moments kind of get a little dark, we're kind of on our heels, putting balls out for corners. He's the guy yelling, clapping, waving his hands like, let's get forward. He's that guy. So talk about Odegaard going out. Big Gabby might be that critical piece too. Like if we lose him, that would be a huge, huge knock for us.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, I think back to the Liverpool game when he got hurt in the second half, and we just looked like chickens with our head cut off. Right, that was a great example of how important he is to organizing us, to just digging in. Like that man digs in, bro. So no, I think you're spot on with that. I want to talk about this Calafiori cat a little bit, because I'm a little sus after these last couple of games that I've watched, dude. I think the injuries, okay, I'm not gonna ever give a player a hard time for injuries. I think those things happen. He's just adjusting to the league. I mean, he's been with us for 3 months, right? So we know that takes a lot, and he's got a bit of an injury record too. But what I struggle with is he gets done up early in games, dude. I think in the Sporting game, he got megged pretty hard, like in the second minute, dude. And I mean, he recovers, but he gets done up. And I've called this out before that I feel like he's tucked in too much at the left back position. And I saw that again against West Ham. I mean, I think the goal that Wan-Bissaka scored, I have to give a little bit of a hard time to Trossard. But also, I'm just like, where is my left back? Like, some of his positioning, I'm struggling. I think it's nice how comfortable he is on the ball. It's nice that he's a big defender. I think he is good, but there's a lot of room for him to improve. And that's also encouraging in a way.
A lot of room to improve. I agree. I'm not saying you're out on him or anything like that, but I don't think some of the moments, because I completely agree. He has been done up a few times. Like that's just the facts. We have eyes. We see it happen. But I don't necessarily think it's a bad thing. Yes, got to learn, got to grow. And the reason I say that is a perfect example of our left back for the past 2 years, Zinchenko, a player that gets done up, but offensively provides a ton on the ball, control. People know he's an outlet. I feel that people are comfortable playing with Calafiori. He's great going forward. He's comfortable on the ball. He can dribble. But I do also think he makes more defensive actions. And that's just so far. I don't have stats to back that up. We could probably, maybe once he gets more games in him, that'll become more prevalent to know what the actions are. But those balls over the top, Zinchenko, everybody knew the diagonal ball over him. That's put him in the spin cycle. He's going to get lost. Your right winger is going to get a chance. I don't see those happening. People aren't trying to hit the ball over Calafiori. He's got more pace. So yeah, there are levels to grow for him. He can go up, become a little bit more solid, but I'm just happy with him. The dynamic between the left back and the right back right now is just great. It's incredible. Coming off at the 60th minute, putting on Zinchenko, I do like that a lot. He has been injury prone this season, and like you're saying, I know he's got bad knees to begin with, so him coming off early is great. Yeah, it is maybe one to watch to see what happens with him, but I'm in on him so far. I still like the performances. Not as hot as that first Man City game with the bang, but it's still good.
Yeah, no, I just wanted to check the levels of the pod a little bit because I think we've been pretty excited about him, and now that we've seen him play like a handful of games, it's like, all right, like you can improve a little bit. I can see. I still rank left back as our weakest link on defense, right?
Yeah, that's fair. I agree with that. Those first few games when he came in and it was just like flying around, you saw the hair. I think all of our eyes were just like brightened. We got a twinkle. We're watching it, and it's a lot less now. It's more conservative, more comfortable. So he's probably still got a few of those moments to do that to us, but to be fair, he has gotten cooked a few times.
A few times, dude. All right, man. I think two big things to call out is the TP5 and Mikel Merino injuries. They were both missing from the West Ham game. It's one of those things where I don't know anything about their injuries. I think Merino has a knee issue. I think TP5 has a muscle issue. So I can't say if they'll be back for United, but I hope that they're not serious injuries. I hope maybe Mikel is playing 4D chess in this situation, trying to prepare the new Portuguese manager at Man United for what to expect out of Mikel. But I'm struggling with it a little bit because I think TP5 has been having such a great season. I hope it's not serious. Like I said, we need him for this run. We have 7 games in December, so we're going to need to see that rotation, dude.
No clue what the issue with Merino is. That was a surprise for me that he wasn't even in the squad. The TP5 one, I saw a report that he actually was like there. He made the trip to the stadium, but didn't end up playing, like didn't end up getting in the squad. So that's more encouraging, I believe, unless that's that dark art action. But that's more encouraging. Game time decision, hey, you're not on. Give me your take on J20, though. In the meantime, give me your take on J20.
J20. You beautiful SOB. You beautiful SOB, dude. I love him. Honestly, man. He's my dog, dude. The fact that you can call on him and see those performances, I mean, he has filled the El Neni role and just elevated it, dude.
That's a great way to put it. That is such a great way to put it. Elevated that role completely. When you see Jorginho in the lineup, it's not like you see it and you're like, oh yeah, let's go. It's kind of like, oh man, all right, here we go. And then he gets on the field in the first 10, 15 minutes. You're like, oh dang, this guy's a baller, controlling the game. His hands are waving around like he's in this. And if it's sunshine, there's no rain. Sky's the limit.
Yeah, dude, and he hasn't been afraid to go in and try to intercept balls. He had a few really nice interceptions against West Ham. He hasn't been afraid to really push up in that role and try to win the ball back, knowing I got big dogs behind me. They're faster than me. They can sort this out. I mean, even this weekend, it was raining It was raining and he played the full 90. I gotta give him credit there, dude. He has been really nice to see. I think when you see him on the lineup, your feeling is that we're not too worried defensively and we're just going to control this game today.
I like that. Rotation. It is nice to see him getting minutes. If we're seeing Partey go through his usual struggles with injury, he's probably got a muscle issue. Marino out for, I again don't know what the issue is with him, but we're going to have to rotate those players, obviously. Declan Rice is going to be available. He just is. Odegaard, fingers crossed, knock on wood, he's going to be available. So it's that third man. Who's it going to be? And if we got 3 options, that's fine with me. 3 options for Arsenal is probably where we need to be at.
Yeah, dude. It's all been good. I think just the last thing to call out for me over this period is I got to give some flowers to David Raya. He hasn't really showed up for the big saves. He hasn't really had to make the big saves to keep us in the game. He had a nice one against Sporting, but I think just his distribution, Steven, the way he's been pinging the ball through their press. I mean, we were toying with West Ham's press in that first 20 minutes, dude. And as the game goes on, especially in like the 70th, 80th minute, how he can find our center mids with like no one on their back and they turn and they go. It was great. We had so many of those moments against West Ham.
He's played a few of those slick balls. I feel like he made a couple big saves in that Sporting game. They had a few chances, especially with those long shots they were putting in. Big saves. Those West Ham goals, I mean, that Emerson one, there's really nothing he can do about that. Good on you. But distribution, the calmness, the fact that you don't have to talk about your keeper to me is like you don't want to have to talk about your keeper. You don't want to have to. That either means he's having to make big saves or he's getting done. We're not talking about him. He's just doing his thing. It's quiet. It's calm, baby. It's calm. That's where you want to be.
That's nicely put, man. Yeah, I mean, I'm here on the pod talking about my goalkeeper's distribution, bro. Just to give him a shout out because I haven't talked about him in a while. So no, I totally hear you, man. All right, anything else you want to call out before we chat a little bit about the United game coming up?
Now let's get into that.
So I think the game is away. Am I right in saying that?
It is at home at the Emirates.
Oh, okay. I like it. Okay, so at home, Wednesday, looks like 3:15 p.m. Eastern time. It will be on Peacock for those of you watching in the States. And it's nice. We're at home. The lineup, honestly, I'm at a point where I don't care. I think you brought that up on the last pod. Stop trying to predict what the manager's going to do. Stop trying to give the manager your critical thoughts and feedback. Let him cook, dude.
Let him cook. I just pulled up United's form. I had watched a little bit of, I think, the first half of the Ipswich United game, which ended 1-1. Then they had their, Europa League game. They played Bodo Glimt 3-2 at full time. They won. And just this weekend, 4-0 against Everton. Did you catch any of that?
I saw some of the highlights. I saw the goals that they scored. I saw a lot of their fans being really excited about Ahmad playing number 16. I think we had called him out as a good player. We were surprised that he wasn't playing much under Ten Hag. So he could be dangerous. It looks like they set up in this 3 in the back. So I think there's going to be a lot of space for our wingers to expose. That's one reason that I believe Martinelli will start that game. But I also saw that Martinez and the Butcher and and Kobe Mainu both got yellow cards, which meant they're going to be suspended for the game. So they'll have some rotation. We'll see their new player, this Ugrata guy, the Uruguayan. So it could be a cagey game, but we're at home, so I think my spirits are high. Our form is good. I think we're going to be able to control the game better. I mean, Everton are not a very good team. Mm-hmm. I saw a lot of the passes that United were playing to their center forwards were like fine. Their center forwards could just take a touch, find a space, pass it off. I don't think they're going to have that time and space against us. So I feel good in backing us to get a win. But of course, it's United, and Rashford's just hit form. I saw that.
He has hit form. That's the only thing I wanted to touch on, really. The game that I watched with Ipswich, again, I only watched the first half, but it was all long balls into Rashford. It's Ipswich, and like United were playing the counter-attacking game. Maybe that's because Amarim is just brand new. That's just a basic tactic. That's what we're going to do for this game. So I don't know if they've changed a bit in the past 2 games, but that always spells a little bit of danger for us. Team that's just going to sit in and play for the counter, and they have the players for it. Bruno can play a nice ball. Rashford can run through anybody to get to it. So that's always dangerous. But man, yeah, dare I say it, I feel a little bit comfortable going into it. It's at home. We've had a good record against United lately. So I'm predictor hat on. I'll throw out a 3-1 to the Arsenal.
Okay, I like it. I'm going to go with 2-0. It's going to be a 2-0 job for me, dude. 1 in the first half. Let's get an early goal in the first half. And then maybe a late one before the half ends, or another early one in the second half. And just see these boys out, dude. See them out.
See them out. You had a good point, so I'm looking at their lineup. 3 in the back. I feel like that's probably new for them. De Ligt is probably comfortable 3 in the back. Has played it. The rest of them, who knows? But to me, that's an easy way, an Arsenal team to pull a team apart, right? The positions we take up are just they're not normal. So I can see them getting pulled apart a little bit, get some goals in us. All we need is that early one, right? Get that early goal, and I think we'll be all right.
I think so too, man. Did you catch any other action from the weekend? I think the big one was obviously Manchester City versus Liverpool, which Liverpool came out with a 2-0 job. I think I look back to when the season started on this podcast, I said, I'm getting a little worried about Liverpool. I think they're not going to have a manager change sort of stalling period. And it's played out that way. We know how good they are attacking. The one thing is that Konate got hurt, so he's going to be out for their December run. And I think they play actually like 9 games in December. So 2 more than us. Let's see how things go. It kind of sucks that we have to be in this prayer mode for other teams to drop points, but we're also just focused on getting our job done now. It's all about getting our job done.
We both predicted, I think you said straight up, they have the best forwards in the league, which I agree with. They absolutely do. Jota's out. Haven't skipped a beat, right? They still have Nunez coming off the bench and scoring, playing great. Fantastic. I'm on the side of they're a good team, but I don't think they're like an excellent team. And I still think that. I just do. I think there's places to beat them. City just gave them the game, in my opinion, which was crazy. The mistakes they're making is just, I get why Pep is scratching his face off because the mistakes they're making, they're just giving them the ball. They gave them the ball right in front of their 18 and letting them score. Just nuts. This is Liverpool. It's Liverpool. Like, we know what it's Liverpool, but it is what it is. I have an interesting little graphic that I found, and it's the biggest leads after 13 games. And this is historically in the Prem. United 11 points ahead first. They ended up first. Chelsea 7 points ahead, ended up first. 6 points, 8 points, 8 points, all first. Liverpool 9 points ahead after 13 games. So that's what we're dealing with. That's kind of tough.
It is kind of tough. And I think back to the last 2 seasons, I think their fans have been very loud saying Arsenal have bottled the league. So I honestly am really hoping that they slip up a little bit because they need a little bit of a humbling. I think their fans are getting carried away for sure, dude. And yeah, I mean, Konate's hurt. That Bradley kid got hurt. So if they have to run out Trent and Robertson over and over, there could be some issues. Van Dijk had a little mistake against Man City, and to say Man City are doing uncharacteristic things. Like Kevin De Bruyne missed a one-on-one, dude. Like that's when you know things aren't right.
Yeah, that was tough. Van Dijk to me is still that dude. He should have scored. He probably had 2 corners. That one, man, he smashed it. He smashed it back into the far post. He just missed it probably by a yard. Van Dijk is that dude. Joe Gomez wouldn't make me feel confident. Konate's sick. Like Konate's a sick dude. So yeah, they're gettable in my opinion. They are, but they are just so good going forward. They are so damn good going forward. That's just the danger. If they can get up on a team, that's it. That's all she wrote. But don't give them the ball in front of your goal, and maybe you can win the game. Who knows?
Maybe. We'll see how they do against Newcastle midweek. That should be a tough match, although I think Newcastle are having some injuries too. That's the one thing about Liverpool is that they have come up against teams when they've been just at their worst form, dude. I think back to even our game. I mean, they were playing against our C backline. So they played Real Madrid and there was no Vinicius, there was no Rodrigo, Camavinga got hurt 20 minutes into the game. So, I think last season, or maybe it was the season before, where you just feel like it's written for Arsenal. Like when Reece Nelson scored that goal, you're like, it's kind of written, dude. All the chips are falling into place. Right now, it feels like all the chips are falling into place for them. So we shall see. Anything else you want to call out about the weekend? Obviously, we're tied with Chelsea on points, on goals, on everything, dude. That's been interesting. I am starting to think they might just finish top 4.
They might just. 3-0 versus Villa. I think Villa's in a tough period right now. But shout out to, you got to credit where credit's due, right? Don't like Chelsea, but you got to give them credit. So they had 2 goals in the first half. Yeah, I think they're for real. I would put them in that conversation. They are for real. Brighton, still in it. Trying to see where they're at in the table. Are they still They're sitting second, correct? Oh, we're second. Brighton's at 4 with 23 points. Still solid. I got to give a shout out to Reece Nelson. I saw a Reece Nelson comp from this weekend. And he brought the ball down with his back. He's balling, huh?
That's awesome, dude. I saw Iwobi had an assist for Fulham, and that's good to hear about Reece. I'm glad his confidence is high. I'm glad he's enjoying his football, dude. That was the thing with all these players just sitting on our bench, like they weren't enjoying the one thing that they love to do. So it's only fair to let them go and flourish.
Let them flourish. So they had a draw with Tottenham, 1-1. The fact that Reece Nelson's even getting a comp, he's starting these games. I think Adama Traore, he's taken his spot. I'm all for it. Hopefully he can come back with us hungry, or now a team is going to be like, yeah, we want this guy. Or Fulham we need him on our team, and we can make a good sell. You want him to play. You want him to have good moments. We'll always have that Bournemouth game. We'll always have that in our hearts. So go off, Reece.
Go off, Reece. All right, man, let me turn it over really quickly just to update everyone on the ladies of Arsenal. They are going to be back in action at the weekend after a little international break. So they are playing Aston Villa on Sunday. I hope that they continue their winning form, and let's just see how the midweek action goes. We'll try to get a pod out after the United game, I think.
Let's do it. So that's Wednesday here, and we have that Sunday morning game, 9 a.m. Fulham. Reece won't be playing in that one. But, yeah, let's go. Choo-choo.
Choo-choo, dude. Thanks, everyone, for spending time with us. We appreciate it. Enjoy your week. Enjoy the match. And we will see you on the other side.
Be easy.